Seeing you today felt like encountering someone familiar yet strange. It's as if the universe sent me a version of you that was almost the same, yet completely different. Was it you, or was it a parallel version of you I was meant to meet for a reason? I couldn't shake the feeling that I was looking at someone who was both you and not you. The moment felt surreal, like the fabric of time had shifted just enough for me to catch a glimpse of you through a different lens. Are we truly the same, or do we just wear the same face at different points in time? There are times when the face in front of you seems too familiar, yet there's a subtle difference, a quiet change that makes you wonder if you're seeing them in a way you've never seen before. It's as though the soul behind their eyes is momentarily absent, leaving behind a reflection that doesn't quite fit. The world has a way of showing us people we think we know, but in truth, we never fully understand them. When I looked at you, I wondered if I was seeing you or a version of you from a world where things were different, where we were different. Have you ever looked at someone and felt like you're seeing two versions of them? One that's the person you know, and another that exists just beyond your reach, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. Maybe that's what life is, a constant dance between who we are and who we could have been. I saw you today, but not quite. Your eyes held the same spark, but your energy felt distant, like you were present yet unreachable. It made me wonder how many different versions of us exist, waiting to be seen at the right moment by the right person. It was as if I was looking at a version of you from another universe, a version that somehow got caught in a moment where time and space collided. Your presence was familiar, but your essence was different. How strange to encounter someone who is both someone you know and a stranger all at once. In the briefest of moments, I realized that sometimes we're not meant to understand everything. You were there, but not there. I saw you, but you were someone else. Was it a sign, a message, or perhaps just a reminder that we're all constantly evolving, even when we don't notice? There are people we meet who seem to embody everything we know about them, and then there are moments when they appear like a stranger wearing the same face. In those moments, I can't help but wonder, are we seeing the real them, or just a reflection of who we think they are? I saw you today, but something felt off. You looked like you, but there was a shift, a subtle change in the air around you. It was like looking at an old photograph, where the face is familiar, but the feelings attached to it are not quite the same. Maybe we don't see the same person twice. Every encounter holds the possibility of seeing someone in a new light, and today was one of those moments. I saw you, but it wasn't quite the same. You were there, yet not. Was I seeing you, or a version of you that existed just for that fleeting moment in time? There's a strange beauty in how the universe sends us people we think we know, only to have them show up as someone completely different. I saw you today, but in that moment, I wondered if you were the same person I once knew, or if I was looking at a different version of you from another life. It was you, but it wasn't. A part of me recognized you, but another part felt as though I was seeing you through a fog, a distortion of reality. Maybe the truth is that we never really see the same person twice. We see the version of them we're meant to in that moment, at that time. Sometimes the person you see before you seems so familiar, yet so distant. It's like looking at someone you know through a lens of someone you don't. In moments like these, you can't help but wonder, what is it about them that feels both like home and like a stranger? There are moments in life when we meet someone who feels familiar yet so distant. It's as if their essence mirrors someone we once knew, but their physical presence tells a different story. Perhaps we are only ever truly seeing the echoes of the people we've lost, and we don't even know it. I caught a glimpse of you today, but it wasn't quite you. It was like your soul had shifted, leaving behind a body that bore your face but lacked your warmth. It made me question, are we always who we appear to be, or is there a deeper layer, a reflection hidden beneath the surface? It's funny how a person can look so much like someone you once knew, yet still feel like a stranger. It's as if the world plays tricks on us, giving us the illusion of recognition, but leaving us to wonder if we're truly seeing them or just seeing a shadow of the past. Sometimes I think I meet versions of people from parallel universes, different timelines where they are both familiar and unfamiliar, familiar yet foreign. In moments like these, I wonder if we ever really know anyone, or if we only see the version of them we're meant to at that moment. The person I saw today looked just like you, but something about them seemed off. They were you in every way except for one. Your eyes didn't hold the same story, the same depth. Was I seeing you, or was I seeing a reflection of a life that never quite came to be? Have you ever seen someone who felt like they were you, but also not? That eerie feeling of recognition mixed with confusion, like the universe decided to show you an alternate version of someone you've known, yet they aren't quite the same. It leaves you with a sense of wonder and a deep feeling of something unsaid. I saw you today, but it wasn't really you, was it? It was like looking into a mirror that reflected an image slightly out of sync with reality. Is it possible that our doppelgangers walk among us, living lives parallel to our own, in ways we never truly understand. You look like someone I once knew, but in a strange way, you were different. Like seeing the face of an old friend after many years, and yet something about their smile, their posture, or their eyes tells you they aren't quite the same. It's a reminder of how much we change, even when we don't realize it. It was you, but it wasn't you. That moment of confusion when your face, your presence, your energy feels both familiar and foreign, forces you to ask the question, how many versions of ourselves are there in the world? How many ways can we be reflected back at others? Maybe we're not meant to meet the real person. Maybe the universe gives us glimpses, fragments, versions of the people we love, just enough to remind us that they exist in ways we might never fully understand. What if the person I saw today was a reflection of what could have been? Isn't it strange how time changes everything? The person I saw today looked just like you, but they were different. Like a page in a book I thought I knew, but the words had shifted. Maybe we only see the version of people we're ready to meet at the exact moment in time. Sometimes we encounter someone who seems so familiar, yet so foreign. It's like their presence evokes memories of another life, another time, yet they stand before us with an energy we can't quite place. Were you truly there, or was it just the ghost of a version of you I wasn't ready for? It was almost like I was seeing you through the eyes of someone else. I recognized your face, your mannerisms, but there was an energy around you that made me feel as though I was seeing a version of you from another life, a ghost, a doppelganger, or perhaps just a reflection of what you could have been. When I saw you, it was like a glitch in the matrix. Your face was the same, yet everything felt different. Was I looking at you, or at someone who merely looked like you, someone whose soul had drifted far from the one I thought I knew? In that fleeting moment, I wondered if you were truly who I thought you were. It felt like a dream where things were almost right, but not quite. Your presence was the same, yet you seemed like someone else. Perhaps in this vast world, our reflections are constantly shifting and changing just beyond our grasp. We often meet people who remind us of others we've known, strangers who feel strangely familiar. But when I looked at you today, I wondered, am I seeing the real you, or just an echo of someone you were, someone you could be, or even someone you might never be? It was like seeing a ghost of you, someone who looked like you but lived in an alternate reality, A part of me wanted to reach out and ask, where have you been all this time? But I knew you were here, just not in the way I thought. Maybe we're always meeting versions of each other at different times, in different places.